What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music as a musician myself. Today is the return of Fire Emblem. It's been a while. I'm not sure if I've done Awakening, so it could be a debut, sort of. I don't know. I know I've done 3 houses and a few here and there, but I've done very few Fire Emblem stuff. This is Fire Emblem Awakening, and the song is called Don't Speak Her Name. This is requested by ChefPig, Blaystar25, and Moony. Well, it's a little bit of a long one, almost 8 minutes. So let's do a first video of this new year. Some Fire Emblem. I love this artwork, by the way. The butterfly is coming out over here. Okay. Let's go. I should mention I got a little bit of context for this one written in the notes, but not a lot. I'll explain later. My mind went straight to Kingdom Hearts. Pretty much gonna stay quiet until the end. Just bask in the piano. Look at the composer in the meantime. I think I heard a gong in there. I like that. It's a bunch of ideas. Constantly moving. Very powerful. Percussion as well. It's really nice. That's the only part I've caught that's repeated. Sounds kind of like an emotional battle. Kind of. Okay, so it's just a couple loops. It's not one very long song. It's probably my favorite part of the song right here. And then it picks up right away too. It's like a wave of emotion just hits out once. Sounds very ascending too. Constantly going up. Yeah, that sounds kind of peak, right? Now we're back at, base level. Is that new? I'm not sure if I've heard that yet. Okay, let me start off with some things that I missed at the beginning of the video. This is from the channel Helping Hands. I looked up the composer here because I was curious, and it is Hiroki Morushida and Rei Kondo. Or Rei Kondo. So, I would like to preface what I'm about to say with some facts you may want to know. 9 times out of 10, I go into a song completely blind. I almost go out of my way to not know anything really. And, but I do, when someone submits a song to me, there's like a little form they can fill out, and there's like a little note section, and they can write whatever they want. I noticed in two of the requests, because 3 people requested it, 2 of them, both submitted notes that were kind of spoilery, to put it lightly. And I noticed the spoil like early in the message, and then I stopped reading the rest. So I don't pretty much know what happens here, but I have a pretty good idea of what occurred here. So just letting that out of the way. So it wasn't of like, oh, what is this? What do I get from it? Type of thing. Since I knew which is very rare. It was more about me just listening to the song and kind of picking things out I like. It wasn't going to be about what setting do I get or what feeling. You know, I knew what was happening. But, you know, oh well, sometimes that happens. That being said, also, well, I mean, to elaborate on that, if you don't know, then, you know, be careful of reading the comments here because people are now probably just going to elaborate on that, so you've been warned. So knowing that, what I know, I'm going to try not to say anything. I'll just say that I know what happens. But knowing that, I will say, I'm going to kind of like, you know, talk around the subject. Knowing that, I can see that. Mind you, I didn't read the whole message, so I don't get like the full context. But I can see the correlation. And though, like, I felt like I was missing a good maybe 40% of the context or something, I still try to find new things and try to hear it pretty much as brand new as I can. But it did sound very ascending to me. It sounded very mountainous. Like, that's why I said peak. Actually, one thing came to mind, which is completely unrelated, but scenery-wise was the game Journey. When you get to, well, it's also kind of spoilery, but let's just say Journey is about, which is not a spoiler at all, Journey is about getting to the top of the mountain. But there's a lot of music that kind of aids in that ascension. So that's what I was kind of like hearing, like, oh, you know, it sounds like we're moving on up or to the next thing. That being said, knowing what I know, it did make me curious, go figure, because a lot of the music sounded very powerful, yes, but kind of menacing. It was not really good energy. It felt somewhere between relief and tension. That's why I said it sounded like a boss theme, which I was not expecting at all. You know, the percussions were actually, I don't know if underrated is the right word because I don't know how people feel about it, but I feel like, to me, the percussion is what kind of stood out to me because there was a lot of like gongs and just all these cymbal work that was, again, building up this like tension. Violins are really pretty. And of course, I'm a huge fan of the piano. It's one of my favorite instruments, so I was really paying attention to that. And I believe that was maybe 3 loops or something like that. But I think like the last like minute was different. I could be wrong about that. It's kind of hard to hear on a first listen, but that it was odd because the whole reaction, I have half my brain. Well, think about it. It's like a phenomenon, right? Like half your brain kind of knows something, and then the other part you're like trying to make your own opinion, I guess, if that makes sense. Something I don't do. It's either one or the other. It's not a very gray area thing you can practice. So I'm kind of doing it on the fly. But it did bring back memories of Fire Emblem in general, and I do remember that the music is like, for lack of a better word, it's very epic, very big. I could be wrong about this, please correct me, but I think it's a Nintendo IP, or used to be, something like that, or maybe mainly something like that. Because I remember, and it's popular too. I remember people were like asking for God Shattering Star a long time ago, and I did that one. I've done a few others. And now that I play a little bit of RPGs here and there, I always hear of Fire Emblem, right? I mostly hear about Three Houses. That's like the one that everyone talks about. Actually, let me see how many views this has. 580,000 in 3 years. That's pretty decent. I will say though, the song name is pretty, it feels more towards what I feel on the whole like menacing boss thing. Because I don't know how to feel about what happens, but Don't Speak Her Name sounds extremely like an order. You know, like, don't you dare. And that's very intriguing to me. I don't know why. It could have been. Well, I don't want to, I don't want to say too much, but let's just say I find that title very interesting. For those that don't know, like, I'm very big on song titles. I don't know, it's just something I like to, the more poetic, the cooler, or the more upfront, or the more like, just everything about them. It kind of makes you, especially for me. Like I said, since I just usually go off a thumbnail. Like, here's usually what happens when I click any video. I get a link, I put it in, click it, I see the thumbnail right there and then, like 2 seconds before I click play or record. And then I get reminded of the game name and the song name. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to leave this one as to, it was just beautiful music that left me. I mean, I hate to use this word so much, but it's like the word of the channel is curious. It left me inquisitive of why the music was like that. Why it sounded so much tension, and why does the title have so much tension behind it? Because of what I do know. I'll leave it at that. So, yeah. That is where I stand on it. It's a really beautiful song, though. Big fan of the violins, piano, especially the piano, my favorite part, and the percussion. Really cool. Thank you to ChefPig, BlazeStar25, and Moony. Let me know more about this song or Fire Emblem Awakening. Is it a prequel, sequel? Let me know. And very interesting reaction because of circumstances prior. But what can you do? Thanks to everyone that you see here. I cannot be here without them. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Jesse in the auditorium. I will see you all later. Peace.